welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are diving into the world of nootropics.
Yeah,
Specifically, mind vitality.
it's a big one.
It is a big one. A lot of people are really interested in boosting their brain power, right?
Yeah.
So we've gone through all the articles, all the research out there, even Mind Vitality's own marketing,
Yeah.
to give you the need to know on this very popular supplement.
It's true. Nootropics have really hit the mainstream.
They really have.
But, I think with so many options, people really need to know what's hype and what has real potential.
For sure. For sure.
And that's what we're doing today. We're going to break it all down. What does Mind Vitality claim to do? What's the science behind these ingredients? Is it right for you?
Totally.
Yeah.
And, let's paint a picture here. It's 3 p meters, okay? You are hitting that midday wall.
Oh, yeah.
Your brain is foggy. Maybe you're reaching for that extra cup of coffee, but then you're like, wait, the jitters,
Right.
the crash later.
Exactly.
That's what Mind Vitality says.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We got you. We're the natural alternative. No crash involved.
Yeah, and they're really tapping into this really common struggle that a lot of us feel, which is, the brain fog, the fatigue, the difficulty concentrating, especially if you're, a busy professional, a student, just anyone who feels overwhelmed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I know that nootropics in general are supposed to enhance that cognitive function, give us that boost, but how do they actually work?
So essentially, nootropics work in a variety of ways to optimize brain function, but I think the simplest way to think about it is that they give your brain that extra support that it needs to perform at its best. And Mind Vitality in particular focuses on this idea of providing sustained energy and focus without the caffeine jitters.
Okay. I like it. And they actually call it their ignition trifactor, which it sounds pretty intense.
It does sound intense.
It sounds like, something out of a sci-fi movie, but what does it even mean?
Well, it's their way of saying, these are the 3 big obstacles to peak brain performance: stress, low blood flow, neurotransmitter depletion.
So they're like, we're coming at you from all angles.
We got you covered.
Exactly.
So first up, there's stress kill switch. It really targets that feeling of just being completely overwhelmed.
Yes, stress is the ultimate brain drain.
Oh, it is.
It's like someone hit the pause button.
Absolutely. And Mind Vitality wants to help you hit play again, essentially, by helping you manage those negative effects of cortisol. And the way they're doing that is by using a blend of what are called adaptogenic herbs. So we're talking about things like ashwagandha,
Ashwagandha, I've heard of that one.
rhodiola rosea, ginseng,
Can.
phosphatidylserine.
Okay, break down what those do, because I'm sure a lot of people are like,
Yeah, these big words.
All right.
Yeah, so let's start with ashwagandha. Imagine you're constantly feeling that pressure of deadlines. Your to-do list is just a mile long. Studies actually suggest that ashwagandha may actually increase your resilience to that stress, right? And it may improve your sleep quality, which, let's face it, sleep is so important.
if you are sleep deprived, your brain is not going to be at its best.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So that's ashwagandha. Then you have rhodiola rosea. This is known for combating fatigue and burnout. Think about it as your secret weapon against that afternoon slump. And it's that it gives your brain a boost without that jittery feeling that you might get from caffeine.
So those two are kind of like the stress-busting dynamic duo.
Precisely. They work to create that calm and focused environment for your brain to thrive. And then there's ginseng. This has been used for centuries to enhance cognitive function.
Yeah.
And then phosphatidylserine, which may help support memory and focus. But let's move on to the second part of this formula, which is the brain focus matrix.
This is where it gets really interesting, because brain focus is giving like sci-fi, but in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way.
And this part of the formula is all about increasing blood flow to the brain. Because when you have increased blood flow, you are essentially giving your brain all the oxygen and the nutrients it needs to perform optimally.
It's like upgrading your brain's internet speed, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the way they're doing that is using a blend of ingredients like Bacopa monnieri,
Okay.
ginkgo biloba,
Familiar with that one?
mucuna extract, even pine extract.
Mucuna extract. That one I feel like I've been seeing everywhere too. What's that one all about?
It's really fascinating because it can actually influence your dopamine levels. And dopamine, if you're not familiar, is that neurotransmitter. It's that feel-good chemical
Okay.
that keeps you motivated and engaged. So rather than hitting that afternoon slump, you might find yourself feeling a little bit more energized to actually tackle those tasks.
Okay, dopamine. I'm listening. All right. Tell me more. What about the other ones? You mentioned Bacopa monnieri and then, of course, ginkgo biloba. A lot of people know that one, but what are those doing?
Yeah, so ginkgo biloba has been studied for its potential to improve memory and cognitive function, and it likely does that by enhancing blood flow to the brain.
Okay.
And then Bacopa monnieri, another really, I think, powerful nootropic, and this is linked to improving memory and focus. So again, you're getting that 1-2 punch for enhanced cognitive function.
It seems like they're really covering all the bases to get that blood flowing up to your brain, but they don't stop there.
You don't stop there.
Because we have part 3 of the ignition trifactor, the cognitive accelerators.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, break it down for me. This sounds like it could either be really, really good or really, really, like, I don't even know.
It's powerful.
Yeah, powerful.
So think about this, your prefrontal cortex, right?
Okay.
The command center of your brain,
Right.
responsible for decision-making, your focus, complex thinking.
Yep.
This part of the formula is designed to enhance the activity of the prefrontal cortex.
Oh, okay.
So it's like fine-tuning that control center for peak performance.
Okay.
And to do that, they're using some really interesting ingredients. We're talking about things like lion's mane mushroom,
Oh, yeah.
which has been getting a lot of buzz lately.
Lion's mane mushroom. I've been seeing it everywhere.
And for good reason.
Okay.
It's believed to have a lot of potential benefits for mood, for memory.
Interesting. So what's the deal with lion's mane mushroom? I mean, it seems like it's having a moment.
It is.
What's going on?
Well, it's a type of mushroom that's been used in traditional medicine actually for centuries.
Oh.
But now modern research is really starting to explore its potential benefits, not just for boosting your brain power in the moment,
Okay.
but potentially protecting your brain against age-related decline.
So it's more long-term.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And then we have Hupertzia serrata,
Okay.
which is thought to increase levels of acetylcholine in the brain.
Okay, break that down.
Yeah, so acetylcholine,
Yeah.
that's that crucial neurotransmitter for learning and memory. Think about your brain like a really complex network of roads and highways, okay?
Okay.
Acetylcholine is like the traffic flow, ensuring that all the communication between your brain cells is happening smoothly and efficiently.
Acetylcholine keep the brain traffic moving. I like it. So it's interesting that they include that.
Yeah,
With all these ingredients, though, I mean, it does make you wonder,
it does.
does it live up to the hype? Does Mind Vitality actually work?
Right, and that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I think the answer, as with most things when it comes to health and wellness, is it depends.
On what?
Well, individual responses to supplements, they vary.
Okay.
What might work wonders for one person might do very little for another person.
Okay.
It's like finding the right pair of jeans.
Yeah,
What fits and feels great on one person might not be the best fit for another.
that's true. That's true.
And it's the same thing with nootropics.
Okay, so
Right.
we're all unique snowflakes. Our brains are all unique snowflakes. So how do you even begin to know, like, is Mind Vitality right for me? What do I need to know?
It's about doing your research, understanding the potential benefits, the limitations, and listening to your body.
Okay,
You know, Mind Vitality, they cite numerous studies
which is good.
to support their claims, which is what you want.
Right.
But we need to look at the bigger picture.
So they're not just pulling these claims out of thin air,
Right.
but we still need to, like, be discerning about the research.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Because, for example, while some of these ingredients, ashwagandha, ginkgo biloba, have a decent amount of research backing them for things like stress resilience or blood flow, others, the research is a little bit more preliminary.
Okay, so it's not a slam dunk with every ingredient, but there are some promising things in there.
Yes, absolutely.
What else should people keep in mind when they're, like, looking at these studies, trying to decide for themselves?
Yeah.
What do they need to know?
Well, first, I think it's important to remember that a lot of these studies will focus on individual ingredients. Not necessarily the specific combination
Right.
or dosage found in Mind Vitality.
Okay.
So while each ingredient may have shown benefit on its own, we can't just assume that they're all going to work synergistically
Yeah.
in this particular formula.
The synergy factor.
Yes.
Just because something works well solo doesn't mean it's going to be like a rock star in a group.
Right.
Okay. Interesting.
And I think it's also important to just remember that the human body is incredibly complex.
It is.
Predicting exactly how these ingredients might interact with each other with your own, unique biochemistry, it's an ongoing area of research.
It's complicated. So
Meditative.
it's not as simple as like 1 + 1 = 2 when it comes to supplements.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot more going on behind the scenes.
Right.
Okay, so where does that leave us? Should people just, like, throw in the towel if they're looking for a brain power boost?
No, not at all. I
Okay.
think it's about approaching these things with, you can be cautiously optimistic. There is promising research behind some of these nootropics, like we talked about
Uh-huh.
the ignition trifactor concept. I think it's interesting,
Yeah.
but it's about managing expectations.
So no one should expect to become a memory champion overnight
Right.
by taking this.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. But it sounds like it could be worth exploring for those who are curious, who
Definitely.
are interested in it.
Yeah, I think weigh the potential benefits, weigh the drawbacks, make an informed decision.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
No.
And speaking of drawbacks, we do have to talk about cost.
Yes.
Because all these brain-boosting ingredients,
They're not cheap.
they don't come cheap, do they?
No, they don't. Especially, when you're talking about high quality ingredients and things like that.
Right.
So I think Mind Vitality does offer a few different package options. Like you can do one-time purchases, you can do a monthly subscription.
Okay.
It's about finding what works for your budget.
And they do have that 100-day money-back guarantee,
They do.
which is nice.
It is. It's very generous, and it shows that they stand behind their product.
Yeah.
They want people to try it out risk-free.
Okay.
But I always think it's a good idea to check with your doctor
Alright.
or a qualified healthcare professional
Always.
before you start any new supplement regimen, but especially if you have any pre-existing health conditions
Yeah.
or are taking other medications.
Safety first.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about this ignition trifactor.
Yeah.
But it seems like in their marketing, Mind Vitality is kind of going after everybody,
They are.
like high achievers,
Yeah. Yeah.
athletes, gamers, like everyone. Is it really a one-size-fits-all supplement?
That's a good question. And I think while they may market broadly,
Yeah.
it's unlikely that any one supplement is going to be a perfect fit for everybody.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
It's like anything else. What works for one may not work for another.
So how do you know? How do you know if you fall into that Mind Vitality might work for me category?
I think it goes back to understanding your needs and what your goals are.
Right.
Are you struggling with focus?
Nope.
Concentration? Are you feeling drained, especially in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Those are the kinds of things that Mind Vitality is claiming to advise.
So figure out what's causing your engine to sputter and then see if Mind Vitality has the tools to, like, tune it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing that's really important is to just remember that no supplement, no matter how good the formula is,
Right.
is a magic bullet.
You're not going to take a pill and suddenly be operating on this whole other level.
No, exactly. And
Yeah.
true cognitive enhancement really is about this holistic approach.
Okay.
Supporting your brain from all angles.
So that means getting enough sleep,
Yes.
managing stress,
Yes.
eating a balanced diet, all that good stuff.
All of it. All of it.
Okay.
It's like your brain thrives in a healthy environment.
Yeah.
And if you're not taking care of your overall well-being, no supplement can really fully compensate for that.
It's one piece of the puzzle, but it's not the whole picture.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so for people listening who are intrigued, who want to check it out, who want to see if it lives up to the hype, what's your advice to them?
I would say start with realistic expectations.
Okay.
Don't expect to just become this like superhuman overnight.
Right.
Supplements take time to work.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. Results can vary.
Everyone's different.
Everyone's different. And I would also say start slow.
Okay.
Start with maybe a smaller dose than they recommend.
Okay.
Just see how your body reacts.
Ease into it.
Ease into it. Exactly.
Baby steps to brain power.
There you go. There you go.
And of course, talk to your doctor.
Of course. Always, always.
Always important before you start any new supplement regimen.
Right, absolutely.
Safety first.
Safety first.
All right. Well, this was great.
Yeah.
This deep dive into Mind Vitality, I feel like we learned a lot.
It's so interesting, this whole world of nootropics.
Yeah.
It's evolving.
It
And it's clear that people are looking for ways to really optimize their brain, enhance their mental performance.
Everyone wants that extra edge, right?
Yeah.
In our fast-paced world, who can blame them?
I think it's a natural human desire
It is.
to want to be our best.
Yeah, for sure. So,
But it goes back to that balance
right.
that we always talk about.
Okay.
Finding what works for you.
So as we're wrapping up here, what are the key takeaways? What do you want our listeners to remember from this deep dive?
I would say, first and foremost, knowledge is power.
Okay.
Do your research, read reviews.
Don't believe everything you hear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I think just as important, There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Okay.
Listen to your body,
Right.
see how you feel, and adjust from there.
Perfect. So if you're curious about mind vitality, go for it. Do your research, but don't expect a miracle.
Exactly.
And remember, true brain power, it comes from that holistic approach to well-being.
It's about nourishing your brain from all angles.
Yes, exactly. Love that. All right. That's it for our deep dive on mind vitality. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.